Skill-based outcomes are related to changes in behaviors, actions, and skills. This includes technical skills associated with a job or occupation, as well as motor skills that use physical movements. Trainers can measure this outcome by observing learners during training using checklists, or by rating actual demonstrations of the behaviors and skills. Self-assessments can be useful for developmental purposes, but as you know, they are susceptible to social desirability responding. We can also assess learning outcomes by measuring the change in trainees' attitudes, motivation, and other internal qualities. For example, training might focus on increasing trainees' self-efficacy, developing more of a learning orientation, or enhancing people's appreciation of diversity. To assess these outcomes, self-assessments are often used. But we can also use evidence of behavioral changes as a proxy for attitudinal changes. If trainees have higher self-efficacy as a result of training, for example, we might expect to hear them speak with confidence and refrain from negative self-talk. These behaviors are easier to measure than some internal state, like attitudes. Learning outcomes make up the second level. To assess the extent to which trainees learned from the training, we can measure cognitive, affective, and skill-based outcomes. In this model, cognitive outcomes include knowledge, like facts, principles, procedures, processes. We are most interested in seeing whether trainees' knowledge increases, whether they have more knowledge after participating in a program. We often use what are called paper and pencil tests, even though many of them are now administered on the computer. We use these tests because they provide a more objective view of what trainees learned. We can also use self-assessments, but trainees' own estimations of how much they learned are heavily influenced by their reactions to the program. The better the reactions, the more they say they learned. However, their test results don't always validate the self-assessment results. For this reason, I suggest sticking with the traditional paper and pencil tests.